So the first thing before setting up a budget, I think you have to make sure that you are financially fit in all aspects, because setting up a budget is part of being financially fit. But starting understanding first, we like to make sure that our clients know what their net worth is. Some people don't even know what net worth means. So you have to take your liabilities, your assets, put them together, minus your liabilities out, and that's your net worth. And some people don't know what to include in there, right? So when you're thinking of your net worth, if you own your home, that's an asset, but it could also be a liability if you have a mortgage on it. Same with your automobile, right? Depending upon, we always say that cars don't hold value, but there is some value in that still, and you have to figure that out. So understanding your net worth first, then coming up with a budget, understanding your credit score. These are all important things before you even just run to making a budget, because your budget's going to change over your life. It could change within a year, but making sure that you're financially fit. So that's something I think that you need to understand first, and then know how to stay financially fit, right? Part of that, creating a budget, and that's probably where you're getting a lot of questions from, because in this day and age, a lot of people don't know how to create a budget. Where do we even start? So similar in effect to the way you have someone track what they're eating, writing everything down, that's what you need to do first, is track what you're spending. There's a lot
honestly spending, just like with diet, not what you would like to be spending. It's what you are honestly spending.
So true, because people will say, oh, this is what I spend, and it's, you pull out their statement, their bank statement or their credit card statement, and it's like, well, what about this? Again, it could be something as simple as stopping at Starbucks every single day for $5 or $8. If you're not adding that up,
like, hey,
yes, I know what your statements look like. But no, those are things that do add up, and you don't realize that. So tracking your spending, the easiest way is to look at your bank statements or your credit card statements, and then putting them in categories, right? So first, being honest with yourself about what you're spending, and then putting the categories out there, to the categories that have to be your fixed categories: your mortgage, your rent, your car payment, the gasoline to get to work, all your utilities. The utility is not a fixed payment in the fact that it fluctuates, but it's fixed, that it has to be there and it has to be budgeted for. And then your variables. So your variables are going to be things like you're going out to eat, any of your entertainment, you're going to travel. Those are more, depending upon what you do for a living, they could be wants, they could be needs, right? So you have to also figure that out. But taking first your fixed liabilities and your assets, making sure that you know what you're spending, and then figuring out how to create a plan for you. A budget for you may be, I just need to get by. This is what I'm doing right now. This is a job that's not going to be my forever job, but I need to budget within this for this year. Or you're going to budget for a family. You're going to budget for, taking care of an elderly parent. Whatever it is, that's all going to change. But you have to come up with your base first. Setting goals are really, really important as a part of your budget, right? So first we got to track. We got to figure out what we're spending, know what we're making. A lot of people don't even know what they make. When you say, oh, I just got this job, I'm making $15 an hour. Well, what is that? If you're working 40 hours a week, it's $2,080 a year, right? So you have to add that up. It's $31,200. I don't make $31,200. I pay taxes. I might have deductions coming out of my payroll for medical, etc., right? So you have to know what you make. So that is your net income, right? Then you've got your bills, like we just talked about, your variable expenses and your fixed. And then what are your goals? What's the goal to save money for what? Is it to buy a house, to buy a new car, to plan retirement? A little bit of all those things. And your goals should be short-term, medium-term, and long-term. Short-term should be something you should be able to accomplish within a year. So if that's paying off credit card debt, that might take a little longer if you really got yourself maybe some school debt or some, credit card debt that maybe something unforeseen happened, or maybe you just didn't know how to take care of credit when you first got it, right? But that's real important, which, when I talk to clients, making sure your debt is covered most important before we go thinking about, I want to buy a new car or I want to move into a house, right? So you're also going to have to make a plan. Your plan's going to change, but your plan might have to be after you've done all that tracking, you might say, wow, I'm really kind of close here. There's not much saving that I can do. Well, maybe you can adjust. Maybe instead of having Netflix, Hulu, all these things that I don't know about because I don't have any of those, but Spotify, Pandora, maybe you take the free version and listen to commercials. Or maybe you don't have all of those. Or maybe if you're going out to movies all the time, maybe you do get a in-home, ability to watch a movie. So your goals, your plan is going to have to change, as do your goals. And the same thing is about your savings, right? When you're making X amount of money, everybody should be putting at least 10 to 15% away of what you make into some sort of long-term investment for your future, whether that's an IRA, your company's 401k plan, etc. But you may have to adjust that if you get a really big raise or a promotion. People always say, well, let me just keep putting what I was putting away. When you're young and you have no children, tank away as much as you can, because in the long run, to be able to, it adds up so fast. And the earlier that, as you know, I started you when you were really young, saving a percentage of any money you made. You also have the ability, which we can talk about later, full disclosure, I'm not a financial advisor, but I do have my license of a Series 7 and a Series 63. So I like to say that I don't like to give out advice if I'm not eligible to speak on that, but I am licensed. But when you talk about your the ability to save money and invest money, it's totally different at an age that you are versus an age I am, right? Because you can be more aggressive, although some young people don't like to be aggressive because they're afraid of losing money.
My financial advisor hates me.
Yeah, he doesn't hate you, but he...
I'm just going to take all my money out and put it under my bed.
That's not a good idea.
Nobody listen to my advice. This is why I'm not giving this
That's right.
advice.
No, you have to, but the whole way that you put money away also changes, based on, again, not just your goals of buying a home or putting your child through college or planning for retirement, but the length that you have to save. Someone like myself who would like to retire early, when that time comes, I have to change my whole portfolio. So you can be more aggressive because your timeline is longer, is what I mean on that. And then keep checking in really every quarter or every 6 months to really make sure that you're still on track and that things haven't changed. That's really what's going to help you in that budget. One of the things I'll point out, all of these things that I reference, I do work in the financial industry. I do work for Bank of America and Merrill Lynch, and we partner with Khan Academy. And anybody can go to bettermoneyhabits.com/Bank of America. And everything in there, from starting a savings account to making a budget to should you invest, how should you invest, all there, and it's all complimentary to anyone, whether they're a Bank of America Merrill client or not. So I think that's real important to know. And then also, one of the bigger questions we get when making a budget is about emergency fund. We hear that we should have so much money set aside. And whether you're someone who has a steady 9-to-5 job that has the same income all the time, or someone who has flexible income, such as whether you're a server or you just have a side hustle that you don't know, you do Uber driving on the side, that's making extra money, right? Or that could be your full-time job, but your income is going up and down.
Even coaching.
Coaching, sure.
We have an idea, but
commissions.
Yeah.
Commission sales work. You sell cars. You're not going to necessarily make the same amount of money this month as you did last month. But what you should put away, in the industry, they'll say 3 to 9 months if you have a regular job that is, same salary. When I say regular job, it's not regular, but same salary week after week, you can count on it. I like to err on the side of much more conservative and say 6 to 12 months of emergency fund. Can't always do it. Start somewhere. If you can only start with 3 months of those bills that you have to pay. But if you are somebody coaching or someone who's got flexible income, you're probably going to want to look at the 9 to 12 months. Again, starting on the smaller end first, but when you can have that cushion, you don't want to exceed that. Again, as we just mentioned, some people like to keep too much cash. And cash, while we like to say cash is king, really isn't in the investment spectrum because you can't earn money right now. You're not going to earn anything in cash till maybe 2024 again. Maybe, the way everything's going, it might be longer. And you're always going against inflation. So if you're earning 1%, cost of living is 3%, you're in the whole 2% by keeping cash. But you do need to keep cash for emergencies. So starting at 3 months, if that's all you've got, is better than nothing. But don't just go and invest, after you've got 3 months and then go aggressive. And then if you need money, getting it out of the market's a lot worse.
It's a lot harder, yeah.